Excellent. Advancing with this training, we have reached a point where we need to see how the path of electrons continues inside an inverter system. Let's pay attention to this detail. At this point, we had a rectification that is not being transformed, as you already know very well, from alternating current to direct current. Do you remember? This was an important transition in any board, and it is called rectification. Because this direct current is going to be consumed a lot, there is a PFC circuit or power factor rectifier, and, of course, to create a filtered DC, we will also have a capacitor. So here we already have a clean DC voltage, ready to be used again. Where are we going now? Well, now we have to keep moving on to the next components. On the one hand, we are going to go to the switched mode power supply, which I have already explained in the previous lessons how it works, what it is for, and how it finishes preparing a lower and regulated voltage so that the microprocessor works. So what we find is the switched mode power supply, on the one hand. I'm going to draw it for you. And on the other hand, we find another component. Let's try to make a diagram. With this color better. Let's do rectification. Transform AC to DC. Very good. Afterwards, we will go through a PFC circuit, power factor rectifier. Afterwards, we are going to go on one side towards the switched mode power supply. And on the other side, we are going to go towards the IPM, and that is what we want to start talking about from now on. What is the IPM? Well, the switched mode power supply is the one that will give voltage to all the low voltage components and even the integrated circuit. And the IPM is the one that will prepare the voltage or the one that will finish giving the voltage or electron configuration for the compressor. So, this would be a diagram in broad strokes. The current is rectified, it goes through a PFC, and from there we go to a switched mode power supply, which feeds an integrated circuit. This is the team's computer, the brain. Now, the integrated circuit works together with the IPM to tell it at what speed the compressor has to turn. But look at this detail, how important this is, because previously in a conventional team to feed the compressor we did not go through all this. Before in conventional teams, to feed a compressor, let's see if we get it, we had alternating current, that is the one that comes from home. Now an inverter, the alternating current is not mentioned because it is not useful to us for anything. As soon as it enters you have to rectify it, but previously the alternating current was used. In fact, the alternating current directly went to feed the compressor. And we had on the other hand, rectification. We had the switched mode power supply and we had the integrated circuit. Integrated circuit, I refer to the processor. I'm going to show you, I refer to the microprocessor, the brain that commands everything. Now look how we had an integrated circuit previously, the only thing that is the circuit and will be, in the case of the compressor, was to enable or disable the passage of alternating current to the compressor. Well, the same thing was towards the fans. And the same thing was if each part of the team everything was fed with alternating current, we only rectified for the integrated circuit. But now an inverter, no. Now, a gate that is the one that commands the integrated circuit and turns on or off. Now an inverter, as we were talking about just now, it is rectified, the power factor is corrected for the entire team completely. In fact, something additional, a preview of something that we will see later, we will also be passing through another IPM to feed the fan, both inside and outside. IPM does not know what it means. Do not worry about this. It is something that we will talk about next because we want to reach with all our journey towards the compressor and towards the fan. But before explaining how the IPM works, I will explain to you how the inverter motors work, because it is essential that you understand how the inverter motors work. Both the gas compressor and the fan work the same. And there, if you are going to easily understand the IPM, what its work is, and how the integrated circuit gives it the notice to turn faster or slower. Well, in the next video, I will talk about how inverter motors work. Please leave a comment if you have any questions.